Well, the NAADS program basically, as the word NAADS stands for National Agricultural Advisory Services. So it provides advisory services and it also provides technologies. It links up with the markets. It organizes farmers in their groups to receive advisory services, but also for marketing and to manage their enterprises. And it's specifically been put in place to propel agriculture in Uganda from subsistence to commercial farming.
Farmers still need advisories, need to be advised. Farmers need improved inputs. Farmers need improved markets. This program is quite good. The problem that one realizes with it is that maybe at the planning phase, there are things that were not really incorporated, which were very, very key to the success of this program. And one of them was really the consideration of the very important natural resource, weather and climate.
NAADS was put in place in 2001 and it has been expanding quite slowly, but in the last few years it rapidly completed its rollout throughout the country, like I mentioned. And within those 8 years, there has been some studies on NAADS impact in the communities and areas in which it has been implemented. And generally it has been found that with time, NAADS impact has been quite enormous in the communities in which it has been providing services, specifically in areas of crop production, animal production, productivity, increasing incomes, even in areas of environmental management has been there, and mitigating climate change and effects of climate change.
Forgetting that all these improved seeds, improved animals, they all still grow in a natural environment. And this natural environment also needed to be addressed. With the climate change, there are places that you go to. Like I visited one time a certain county in Luuka. It was a county by that time, Luuka in the Uganda district, where I met a certain group of women who have benefited from the NAADS program.
And specifically in areas of increasing production and productivity, the range is very high, from certain crops up to 200% in areas of bananas. In places like Kabaroe, banana production increased from like 6 lorries being brought to Kampala to almost 70 per day. In Soroti, orange trees from almost in hundreds to thousands, and I think it's going to come to almost 600,000 now, orange trees. So generally there's been impact in terms of production, incomes, and the general well-being of the families. But in terms of mitigating climate change, increasingly we are promoting what we call perennial crops. Perennial crops, these are tree crops, and basically including agroforestry. So in a number of places now, these are emerging. Like in the highland areas, we are now promoting tea very intensively. We are promoting temperate fruits to cover the bare hills. In some areas, orange, mangoes, and of course tree crops, basically agroforestry in a lot of places in the north and the east. This financial year we are moving into what we call, it has been there, but we are going to intensify water conservation techniques to mitigate issues of basically climate change, specifically on that one. The result of weather patterns and bad rainfall patterns is bad. Therefore, the crops yield are getting lower, and feeds for animals are getting scarce and very expensive. But there's a third factor also, because normally Uganda has been a basket for not only Uganda, it's a food basket, but for the region. Southern Sudan depends on Uganda, Kenya depends on Uganda, and so on. So generally, there's been an increase in food prices, an enormous increase in food prices and shortages of food commodities and crops. NAADS has had a great impact in Uganda itself, even from the concept of just changing people's mentality from subsistence to commercial. That one alone has been great. Two, even resources being put in the program now has greatly increased, and government support for putting more money into agriculture has been mostly attributed to the effect that NAADS has had on the communities in the country in general. And we are also proud that because of the program, and of course other factors, could be other factors and so on, Uganda again is being viewed and being looked at as the food basket of the region. And with the program on the ground and greatly entrenched in the communities, and with appropriate funding, we can achieve it within just a couple of years, because the potential is there, the will is there, and the resources are coming and increasingly being put in place by government.